you find like confetti and you're like, oh my God, like I just cleaned up. And that's sort of, again, like this kind of visceral reaction people have to confetti. I was like, oh, you got to clean it up and oh, it's everywhere and stuff like that. But why are we so upset about it? It's not like it's like dirt or bugs or like something disgusting, but like, shouldn't it be like, oh my God, I just found a piece of confetti. Like, why aren't we excited about it instead of like, oh man, now I got to bust out the vacuum again.
Yes. Greetings from Confetti Land,
home of the Confetti Bar. I'm Jessica, founder and confetti artist.
And I'm Alexis, head of happiness. Join us here in this magical, colorful place where we
have fun,
feel feelings,
and encourage you to embrace your unique version of happiness and all of its beautiful, messy pieces.
We are so excited to have you join us.
We're back.
Season 3.
Season 3. We've made it 2 whole seasons under our confetti belts.
I've got a new setup for season 3. A new background, if you will.
I'm really all about it. Lots of confetti things happening in the background. Disco balls, glitter, color. Love it.
You're always in Confetti Land up there in Connecticut, and so I said I need to be in my Tennessee Confetti Land for this.
Yes.
We'll see how long it lasts, because it is a little bit more work than just sitting on a kitchen island.
Listen, Confetti Land. Sometimes difficult. It's sometimes a difficult place to get to. As much as, we maybe think it's quite accessible. Not always.
Yes.
I think there's a metaphor in there somewhere.
Honestly, that was good. It took it deeper, and I appreciate it.
Diving right in. Must be the new sweatshirt. New Confetti Land sweatshirt. Just makes
that rainbow embroidery.
It really gets me in the mode. In the confetti mode. Actually, it gets me feeling my confetti vibes, which is apropos, because I think that's really where we are with season 3. I mean, we talk about it all the time, and it's sometimes unspoken, sometimes maybe spoken, but I think really this season in particular, we really want to kind of embody that confetti vibe, or that confetti feeling, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to ask you, Alexis, what is a confetti vibe? Or that confetti vibe? Hashtag that confetti vibe.
Hashtag that confetti vibe. I think that confetti vibe is something that we talk a lot about here in Confetti Land. It is looking for the joy amidst the chaos of this world. We are looking for the beauty in the messy, remembering that things, yes, can be very hard, but we know that there is hope, and we know that there is joy. And what a better symbol than confetti?
Well said. I think if we give the people kind of an official definition, if you will, a confetti vibe. Give me a dictionary voice on. A confetti vibe can be defined as a lively, joyful energy that evokes feelings of celebration, fun, and playful spontaneity. It's the mood that captures the essence of embracing beautiful messes. It's about embracing the unexpected, enjoying the little bursts of happiness, and celebrating life's moments, big or small, with a sense of wonder and acceptance. Who do we write?
Is this from your?
Who do we write? It's from my personal dictionary. Yes. Where's the people at Merriam-Webster? How do we get this an official definition?
Okay, but seriously, because you nailed it. This is exactly what it is, Jessica. I mean, I guess you are the inventor of hashtag that confetti vibe, so it makes sense.
Perhaps.
But still, well said.
Well, I'm putting my English degree to good use by inventing a term and a definition, okay? But no, I mean, I think, we say it, and as we've said many, many times here in Confetti Land, it's not just about a happy, right? I mean, that's the core of it, and that's what we're always like striving for and what we're always looking for. But that doesn't mean that's in the absence of kind of anything else that's harder. So to me, like a confetti vibe #ThatConfettiVibe, is anything that does sort of force you to think about looking for joy. And that doesn't mean it has to be a happy moment, but it is something that does kind of make you think about where is the joy here, even if it is something that's kind of hard. And I think, I don't know, do you feel like we as a people are generally kind of like afraid of happiness? I was thinking about this the other day, and we talk about it a lot. We like to, I think in many ways assume and or pretend we're happy, but really I think maybe as a society we're kind of afraid of it. We almost try to delay it or like feel like we have to deserve it, and like that's why we have parties or like certain things are like, oh, like if this happens then I'll celebrate, and it has to be something that's like worthy of a celebration. And I don't know, is it just me? Am I making that up?
I don't think that you're making it up. I wonder, do you think it's because we are afraid, like we're discouraged and like we're afraid that we're going to be disappointed, and so we're like waiting to pull out the confetti, waiting to do what, because we don't know if it's going to happen? Yikes.
I guess. Yeah, I think there's like something, at least for me anyway. I mean, we've talked about this with Kate at Splat, with like using like the Good Art Splat. It's like almost like you put all this pressure on it that it's like it needs to feel like a big moment, and it needs to feel like, I don't know, maybe we're ruined by like movies and stuff like that, where like it needs to feel like it's like this big production, and like I don't know, it just every day and every moment. And that's what, and it is hard. I think we're just kind of conditioned. Like that's why there are like certain celebrations, and you like, we'll spend months like planning a certain party or, for a certain holiday and things like that, which I don't think is a bad thing in and of itself. Right. Like to have something to look forward to and to kind of force yourself to like really kind of celebrate something and go all out. But I think it's at the sacrifice of celebrating things every day and like having those little like mini celebrations, and even doing the things like, using the fun plates and cups, just for like your breakfast on a Tuesday morning, instead of like, nope, it has to be this party with this theme and like all of the things. So yeah, I don't know. Ponder that, everyone, if you will. Like, are you afraid of happiness? Do you feel like you deserve happiness? Do you delay happiness?
These are big questions
to think about. But I think, the way we break it down, obviously, yes, we use confetti as like kind of the symbol for celebration here. But I think it's one of those things like, love it or hate it, confetti definitely makes you feel something. And I know like we've talked about this, like people usually have very strong reactions to it. So I think that's part of why like I love it as a symbol, because it does like cause a reaction, and it's something that people have like a very vivid kind of picture of what it is, even if you're kind of thinking of different things, whether you're picturing like the confetti on New Year's Eve or like sprinkled on a table or, vacuuming it up for 3 days, like whatever it is, like it does like stick with you, maybe literally sometimes, but it's something that is so symbolic and does kind of conjure up these feelings and thoughts and images for each of us. But the question is, can we then use it in our everyday lives, and can we bring it in to the smaller moments and kind of not assume that it is only for the bigger moments?
No occasion is too small to make it special.
Exactly. Little confetti rain thrown in there.
Just a little. Just felt appropriate. But yeah, I definitely agree. I think like use the fun napkins, use the fun plates. Don't wait for it. We talked about that even with Tiffany too. Always just kind of wrestling with this and trying to pull out the confetti vibe and inspire others to do the same.
Exactly. And I think we've said this, and I think we talked about this with Yelena too, about how confetti is sort of like the perpetual metaphor for all sorts of things. And so I think we've listed it. We have 5 things that I think really sort of explain like what a confetti vibe is or does. And I think it is very metaphorical in lots of ways. But should we go through them?
Let's do it.
Okay, so number 1, a confetti vibe can be messy, but it is also beautiful. So yes, I mean, we talked about this all the time. Like, I think, broken record, but yes, confetti is about happy things. It's about looking for joy and all of that, but it also can be about hard things. And, again, learning to accept and celebrate and find meaning and hope and joy, even in some of those darker times. And yes, again, not everything is always sunshine and rainbows, and nor are we pretending it should be, but that doesn't mean it's any less worthy of celebrating, because it is still part of your experience. And I think that's really like what we're getting at, right? Like, our lives are our experiences, and each one of us is going to have a very different set of moments and set of feelings and thoughts and all of these things. And that in and of itself is what we're celebrating at the end of the day, right? Just like being human, being here, doing the things, living our lives, meeting people, enjoying, experiencing, all of that kind of stuff.
All those things are growing you and worthy of celebration.
Exactly. And I think kind of, and again, we've talked about this many times, but how open you are to the mess and beauty of confetti is a direct correlation to how open you are to the mess and beauty of life. And,
Say it again for the people in the back.
I've said it, I've experienced it, but it's like how you react to confetti is almost like a direct correlation to how you show up in life, and how much you embrace like the mess and the chaos and all of that kind of stuff. But I think it also speaks to like how much you can enjoy beauty, and you can look for those good moments and see the color and all of the celebrations. So forever and always, that will be my stake in the ground, that how you view and react to confetti is a symbol for how you react and show up in life.
You know who I think would get behind that confetti vibe? Miss Frizzle. She always said, make mistakes, get messy. Or, I butchered that, but what did she say?
I don't know off the top of my head, but I do love me some Magic School Bus throwback. We'll have to figure that one out.
She'd be here for it. I do need to fact check myself, but It was something along those lines, and she was always encouraging the kids to really get inside their learning. So
yes, literally. Literally. No, but yeah. And I think if I really wanted to kind of maybe wax poetic on it, the idea of confetti being that conduit to your soul, like it's your inner joy. It's the symbol for, again, how you show up in life and sort of how you react and sort of your own personal, what's the word I'm looking for? The way that you kind of experience life and the way that you choose to approach any situation. And, do you lead with kindness and color and hope and joy, or do you lead with the idea that everything is just like messy and chaos and terrible and bad? And, I think that's the difference. And I'm not saying it's easy, and I'm not saying I show up with my confetti spirit all the time, but it is something that does definitely remind me constantly to have that confetti feeling and that confetti vibe.
Like connects you back to wonder. I feel like that sometimes we can kind of grow cynical too as we get older. But yeah, bringing you back to some of that joy and hope that you had maybe as a kid.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And I think it's funny, I was thinking about this the other day too, like in a very like concrete way. Like I've always gotten emails from people who ask about, the custom confetti and like the actual physical confetti. And they, people ask if they could like use it in cannons, or, they want to shoot it off in an event. And like I've always said, like, our confetti is heavier than most, so it's like not used for cannons. But like when I really break that down, like it literally has taken me a decade to make this connection about like our confetti is heavier than most, but like it's more than just a physical description of the confetti. And we're always like talking about all of this deeper stuff and all of this like deeper meaning that the confetti holds. And so I just think that's funny that literally for years I've said that and only just now realized how symbolic that actually was.
That is wild. I also didn't know that you had gotten like some of those requests. And so like, yeah, you have to be like, okay, well actually like this looks a little bit different, and wow, to connect that. We love a metaphor here in Confetti Land. So that's really good.
All the confetti metaphors. Really Speaking of metaphor number 2. Okay, so a confetti vibe forces you to be in the moment. So obviously confetti, like, you know, when you're throwing it and tossing it and it's like raining down around you, like you really don't have any choice but to be in that moment and to experience it, because it's literally like right in your face, sometimes in your mouth, like in your eyes, like everywhere. So I think that's just very apropos. Like it does force you to kind of think about where you are now. And I think that's something a lot of us probably struggle with. I know I struggle with like being in the moment, and confetti just helps remind me to do that.
Yeah. A reminder that we all need. Be present instead of always thinking about what's coming up next. I'm still learning that lesson.
Yes, we all are. Okay, metaphor number 3. A confetti vibe helps you release control. Ooh. And again, like when you really think about like the physical act of like tossing confetti, like you're giving up that control. You don't know where it's going to land, where it's going to go. You can't control it even if you tried. So again, I know I talk about that a lot in my therapy about, you know, trying not to control everything. And it's true. Like, I think sometimes we hold on to things so tightly and we want everything to be perfect or like the way we expect it to be. And confetti just comes in and says,
Actually.
All right. Metaphor number 4. A confetti vibe surrounds you. Ooh. And again, just like confetti, when it's floating all around, it's everywhere. It is all around, up, down, everywhere you can think. And I think that's when we really talk about having a confetti feeling or, you know, experiencing a confetti vibe. It is something that just sort of like overtakes you and it does kind of surround you in every way. And like those are the moments we're looking for, the ones that do consume us in some ways, but in a positive way, and like looking for that joy and that hope, and you just like feel it deep down in your soul and it's kind of all around you. And I think confetti does that.
Inside and Out.
Inside Out is a good movie, by the way.
Yes.
All right, and then our 5th kind of metaphor, a confetti vibe. You have no choice but to surrender to it. So this kind of goes along with the idea of releasing control, but like you really don't. You don't have a choice. Like you're in it. Confetti, you're tossing it. It's coming down. It's raining down. It's all on the table. It's on the floor. Like you have to give into it. You're going to be cleaning it up. You're going to be finding it. Like you just have to embrace it and just like give yourself over to that confetti feeling. And the literal confetti.
Yeah, I think that's super wise of just like that release and finding that joy even if you're picking it up a couple days later, like with confetti.
Well, so that actually reminds me. So we sometimes share, I don't know if you'd call it a quote, but we share this thing on our social media sometimes. Yeah, a quote. A JSH original. But we share it on social media and people always seem to like respond to it. But the idea is like, okay, so confetti gets everywhere, right? After a single party, you can find pieces for literal years to come, tucked in cracks by the baseboard and stuck in under the rug you vacuumed a million times before. But isn't that how we want joy to be? Found everywhere, always, and even in unexpected places?
My favorite quote.
I think it's true though, right? Like and again, I'm guilty of this too, so I don't want anyone to think, you know, I'm not, but
we aren't exempt.
Yeah, like, you know, you find like confetti and you're like, oh my God, like I just cleaned up. And that's sort of, again, like this kind of visceral reaction people have to confetti. I was like, oh, you got to clean it up and oh, it's everywhere and stuff like that. But why are we so upset about it? It's not like it's like dirt or bugs or like something disgusting, but like shouldn't it be like, oh my god, I just found a piece of confetti? Like, why aren't we excited about it instead of like, oh man, now I gotta bust out the vacuum again?
Yes. Let it bring back some smiles and joy. I giggle every time I find a piece of confetti that I've tracked into the shower or that's up in my freezer. Tell me how that happens. I don't know. And my parents are still finding confetti from when I lived with them. I mean, and it's just like a little reminder of me for them. But seriously, it's fun to be reminded of like whatever you were celebrating, you know, the reason for that confetti happening and take you back to that little moment of joy. I think that that's one of the best things that confetti does is bring you back to joy.
Exactly. And that's why I think sometimes maybe we encounter situations and or experience certain things that we almost approach with that sort of negativity of like, oh man, like this is more inconvenient than anything. But like if we really kind of flipped it and we're like, oh no, like this is exciting, this is something that should like make me think about it a different way, I think we would all be a little bit better off. And I think it is a lot of maybe how we've grown up and the things we experience, and as we get older it's maybe sometimes easier to be hardened by life. But I think about even Emmy Joy, like I'm hoping we're raising her in an environment where she is kind of finding that joy. And she's still, I mean, granted, she's 4, but, she'll find a piece of confetti on the ground and she's like, Mommy, look, I found some confetti. And like, she's so excited about it. And I just truly hope she never loses that. And I want to be more like her and that. And sometimes I am, but admittedly, sometimes I'm not.
I think we all should strive to be like Emmy Joy when we grow up. I know I am.
She is a character. But yeah, and I think it comes back to, again, another quote, if you will, but the whole idea, like confetti is a choice. It's the choice to choose joy. It's the choice to embrace the messy right alongside the beautiful. And it's the choice to live a colorful and abundant life. And I think about that both in the literal sense of like, I can choose to buy confetti and I can choose to decorate my party. I can choose to put it in an envelope. Like, the literal physical using of confetti is a choice. But obviously, when we think about kind of the more metaphorical meaning of it, it is the choice of like how you show up in life. And I think, again, I hope that we all can strive to embody that confetti vibe as much as possible.
Yes.
So I think really to kind of sum up the kickoff to season 3 is really just the idea, like, I mean, we're forever in our confetti era, to quote or play off of one of Alexis's
T-Swizzle.
But it's true. Okay, we're sitting here. We're in our confetti era. I hope everyone else wants to be in their confetti era too. But we're just over here trying to change the world one little piece of confetti at a time.
A confetti revolution, if you will.
Yes, a confetti revolution, which everyone can join if they join our email list at theconfettibar.com/join. But we are trying to start our own little quiet confetti revolution, if you will. So I think more than anything, we want to leave everyone with the permission to go and find your version of #ThatConfettiVibe. And please share it with us on social media using #ThatConfettiVibe. For more fun, join us on the socials at The Confetti Bar. And you can join the Confetti Club to receive free inspiration delivered to your inbox at theconfettibar.com/join.
Thanks for visiting!
And I think kind of, and again, we've talked about this many times, but how open you are to like the mess and beauty of life, I think is a direct correlation to how open you are to the mess and beauty of life. Did I just say life twice? I might have.
There's a chance.